Welcome to the stream, Bobby Doodoo. Hey, alright. What's up, Bobby Doodoo? Bobby Doodoo. Well, if it isn't Bobby Doodoo. Put that angle, put that at angle. Put that at angle a little bit. Sick.
Corruption, mass consumption, collective strength means more than you think. Civil disobedience all over the media, jury nullification, encyclopedia.
Looks like a skinny version of me.
In defiance of the powers that want you sick and tired.
Secret. It's AI.
No community, while we get away with immunity. Deny, defend, oppose. Get off your feet, ring the bell, let everyone know. Deny, defend, oppose. Get off your feet, ring the bell, let everyone know. Deny, defend, oppose. Get off your feet, ring the bell, let everyone know. You gotta know your rights if you wanna fight. Speak truth to power every hour. It's in the ether, it's in the air. Revolution lies everywhere. Seek the truth and the common ground. Don't let the lies turn you around. Build within a foundation strong. 1776 ain't wrong. We are America. We ain't scared of y'all. Deny, defend, oppose. Get off your feet, ring the bell, let everyone know. Deny, defend, oppose. Get off your feet, ring the bell, let everyone know. Deny, defend, oppose. Get off your feet, ring the bell, let everyone know. You gotta know your rights if you wanna fight. Speak truth to power every hour. Deny, defend, oppose. Get off your feet, ring the bell, let everyone know. Deny, defend, oppose. Get off your feet, ring the bell, let everyone know. Deny.
Oh, Facebook. Ugly people. Ugly people. Today we're going to react to ugly people on the Facebook. Ugly people. I don't know how we become friends, but ugly people. I'm mean. Let's listen to some Tiz unreleased tracks. Since I'm the CEO of Slumlight Records, I get exclusive songs from all the artists. Let's see, what's this guy making up? Unreleased tracks. Slumlight Records. Unreleased track party. Friday unreleased track party. Where's the words? Unreleased track party. Call me orange cream soda. I like it. Unreleased track party, the Tiz, Slumlight Records. What is this guy on?
I like to get high. I like to get high. I like to get high, baby.
Alright.
I like to get high.
Yeah.
I like to get high. I like to
kill
for a
himself?
few minutes. It made me forget how shitty my life is. For a few minutes.
Alright. I get it. You're depressed. Next song. Ooh, I like this beat already.
I can take a thing and make that thing better. I ain't Project Pet, but I'm still getting cheddar. I'm getting cheddar on Tuesday, mate. I'm getting cheddar on Tuesday, mate.
More unfinished songs. Unreleased, unfinished songs. I'm going through all of our artists. All of our artists' unreleased tracks in the shared drive folder. Slide by Records.
You're never gonna be like me. You're never gonna be like me.
Alright. I need more, right? It's not doing anything for me. Cut these tracks. Nope. Keep this track. Keep this track. Oh yeah, this rocks.
Smoking doobies.
Fructose, sorbic acid, and zinc, cholesterol, protein, calcium, and chlorine, blood group antigen, citric acid, DNA.
All right, that's the cum song. The cum song. What is this?
Bend it over, let me see. I just got to know what you got behind that back.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Turn around,
Let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter.
Oh baby, oh yeah. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Look at the way she slices them turds like a samurai. Yeah.
Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter.
Baby. Oh baby, yeah. What do you got back there? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I want to squeeze it.
Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter.
I want to squeeze it.
I wanna squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. Squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. Squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it. I wanna squeeze it.
Baby, I want to squeeze it. Oh, baby. I want to squeeze it. I really need
Not
it.
every ass is turd cutter, if you know what I mean. Not every ass is turd cutter, if you know what I mean.
Get down now. Oh. Turn around now. Yeah. Get down now. Turn around now. Turn around now. Turn around now. Let me see that turd cutter.
Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd-cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd-cutter. Rockin'.
Don't walk away, girl. I got something to tell you.
The Gooners. Only on Bandcamp. No. Whoopee. Whoopity doo. Paul? Who the fuck is Paul? Paul Wall? Fuck is that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my homies is moving on up. My homies is moving up. Hey, forget about it. My homies moving up in the world. Moving up in the ranked world. My homies. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter. Turn around, let me see that turd cutter.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Let's see.
I am Groot.
I'm gonna get a little bit of Groot practice. A little bit of Groot practice in. Ugh. Hello and welcome. Today you're going to learn why you suck at Marvel Rivals.
Escape pod ready. Opening escape capsule.
You suck at Marvel Rivals. I don't care if you get 50 kills in a game. You're still silver, buddy.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
I am Groot. I am Groot.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget, securing the mission area is your top priority.
Turn around, let me see that turd cutter.
Hold still, I'm trying to help.
I am Groot.
I like the cold.
Sayonara. Sayonara. Sayonara.
That's it! Don't let I'm ready to put on a show! Watch me go! So close! This is your big chance! Another epic victory! Big win!
I am Groot. She wanna touch my Groot. Hey, she wanna touch my Groot. Hey, she wants to touch my Groot. Ah, yeah, nobody wants to touch my Groot. Not even my girlfriend. She won't even touch my Groot. My girlfriend won't touch my Groot. What was I gonna change? I'm gonna change something. It's gonna change something. Oh yeah. Communication wheel. What's up, Doo-Doo Jones? Oh, wait, no. Is it Doo-Doo Bob? Doo-Doo Bob.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
What up, dude?
I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Only my neighborhood is now
All right,
like
look.
multiple realities. Cool, right?
I haven't really played Spider-Man at all. I'm learning him today. I haven't even taken him to the practice range. I'm gonna get destroyed. Maybe. Maybe I get destroyed.
Come to New York sometime. I'll do
We'll be
whatever a
coming in
spider
30
can.
seconds. Stay strong.
The Windsor Soldier. It's an honor. You're one of the best in the business.
My performance record as an assassin should be anyone's response.
Hey, I don't tell you not to idolize the red, white, and blue voices.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Watch out, they're headed our way.
Alright, I said I was bad. Alright, I said I was bad at Spider-Man.
I gotta do better this time.
Here comes the goddess.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks. Better stop that vehicle.
I am Groot.
Somebody gotta try to stop the payload. See how my new crosshairs work out. X marks the spot, baby.
There's still a chance to stop them.
I am Groot! I am Groot! Maximum punch!
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them. Better stop that vehicle.
To me! To me! To me! Turn back at once!
I am ready to put on a show.
Ah, here they are now.
It's now or never. Stop them.
Two primal forces merged as one.
Mutants always rise again.
Here's how you don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! Just stay where you were.
The perfect conduit for your chaos. Much better.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Your attacks are futile.
Among the exploding
Maximum pump!
well, you can't expect to win them all.
Look here, your boy is hungry. Your boy is hungry. Your boy is hungry. Me so hungry.
Someone's gotta stop Doom. I mean, Dooms. I hope there's only two. Pretty sure those are bad guys. And stay down. Anybody who has the chance can be a hero. I believe that. Yeah! Woo! Oh, you went down pretty hard. Now I gotcha. Pretty sure those are bad guys.
Double KO!
Yeah! Woo! Oh, you went down pretty hard.
Double KO!
Gonna get sticky. Yeah. 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 Woo! Yeah. Pretty sure those are bad guys. And stay down. Spider Sling. Ground and pound. Fight for the good guys next time. they're headed our way.
Double KO!
Watch out, they're headed our way. You'll be all right someday. Crack the whip.
Double KO!
Round and pound.
Brown and round. Round and brown.
Spider Sling. Yeah, woo!
Double
Round
KO!
and pound.
That's 3!
Watch out, they're headed our way.
Wow, 4 in a row!
Spider Fist is ready to punch.
5! That's amazing!
And stay down. Gonna get sticky.
Double KO!
Fight for the good guys next time.
That's 3!
Yeah. Yeah. Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Double KO!
Too sticky for you.
Join my faction.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Only my neighborhood is now like multiple realities. Cool, right? It's up to us to help the people who can't help themselves.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Oh, good. The perfect human here would feel inadequate. We're already doing that before I arrived. Perhaps a good fight will improve your self-image.
Blow up.
Yeah.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
If the world didn't need superheroes, what could it be?
I require change on here. I attacked a foe.
gotta do better this time. Look out, bad guys!
Maximum pulse!
I like the cold.
Judge, jury, executioner!
That put some pep in my step. Round and pound!
Here is an enemy to pursue. You are safe now, my friend. I require
Round and pound!
Behold the god of thunder!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! That put some pep in my step.
a man named Cap.
A nice deep freeze.
I gotta do
one
better
hurt.
this time.
I suck.
Judge, jury, executioner!
That's a problem. But also I feel more comfortable.
I require aid.
Hit the spot.
Destroy the punishment
Yeah.
turret.
Round and pound.
Only 60 seconds left.
Rise, my friend! I hate this part! Now I've got something to prove.
Down to 30 seconds.
Spider Sling! Round and pound! We're close. Stay tough. Yeah.
Quantum magic.
Final 10 seconds.
Now I've got something to prove.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Yeah.
Assemble!
Crack the whip.
We're finding. I suck. It's the grand finale.
Nice. Gonna get sticky.
A nice deep freeze.
Your powers are mine!
Judge, jury, executioner!
To be center stage.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! Partners like the old days. Fixing its turret. Better than Aunt May's chicken soup. You're gonna get sticky.
You stop them in their tracks.
Friends call me Mark, or Stephen, or Jake.
Only 60 seconds left.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Their gods look so much cooler than mine.
Down to 30 seconds.
Surrender strength. The wounds are gone. Thanks.
I unleash the Shanti's power!
Time to drain.
The final 10 seconds. You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
You need the power.
Another epic victory! Big win!
Hungry. Me hungry. Yo, give me some recommendations for YouTube videos.
In corruption, mass consumption, collective strength means more than you think. Civil disobedience all over the media, jury nullification, encyclopedia, self-reliance.
Go check my Odie boys.
I'm historian Angus Constam. Let's answer your questions from the internet. This is Pirate Support. At Straight Grubbin asked, where did the pirate accent come from? Because there's no way in hell that people really talk like that. It was invented by the actor Robert Newton when he did the Walt Disney film Treasure Island back in 1950. He used his native Somerset accent and embellished it a bit, and that created the sound of the pirate, essentially.
Hardly worth dividing, is it, George?
It's a great accent, but it's just one actor's view of what a pirate would sound like. Pirates would have come from just about any port in Britain or Europe, or even colonial America. When Robert Newton chose that accent, he'd no idea 60, 70, 80 years later, people are using it as the established pirate accent.
Thank you kindly, Doctor. You came in the nick of time.
It shows you the power and the impact of that film at the time and how it captured people's imagination. At Corby Nest asks, why are pirates called pirates? Pirates really comes from a Greek word which means to attack or to rub. Pirates existed as far back as the ancient Egyptians. And then when the Romans came along, their word pirates essentially meant a sea rubber. They had whole naval patrols out trying to hunt down pirates. Famously, Pompey the Great organized a sweep through the Mediterranean to capture all the pirates he found. And they were using the term then, so it's kind of stuck. At Luca Don Muse says, what's your favorite rule of the pirate code? We have a few examples of pirate codes, and they're really codes of conduct within the ship to govern how the pirates operate on board the ship. I like the fact that they're very democratic. For instance, how any plunder is held in common by the pirates and divided up. They also have ones that give you an idea of what life was like on board. Basic things like no candles while you're gambling and drinking below decks. That's a very sensible one. Knock over a candle in a wooden ship and all hell breaks loose. At Sean Rome 1 asks, what do pirates do for fun? We don't know an awful lot about what pirates did on board, but we have a few records from merchant captains taken prisoner and held on board pirate ships. There was a lot of card playing and an awful lot of drinking. Pirates, essentially, every time they looted a ship with drink in it, they would lay into the stuff. Ships carrying things like Madeira wine was regularly imported to colonial America. Pirates were well stocked with drink, but also an awful lot of just lying around looking bored because they were waiting for a victim. That involved a lot of long passages at sea doing very little. Great Sambino, I wonder if pirates really did use wooden peg legs, or is this just common folklore? They must have gotten seriously bad splinters. Often people with peg legs were used as cooks, just as Long John Silver was in Treasure Island. Peg legs are probably the only kind of prosthetic available. As for splinters, I'm sure that happened. At Wheelie Average, what's the most famous non-fictional pirate through history? There's a lot to choose from. Probably the instant iconic pirate is Blackbeard, Edward Teach. Instantly recognizable, he did things like blockade Charleston, which really upset the apple cart in colonial America. People didn't know where he was going to attack next, and for a short period, merchant ships wouldn't go to sea for the risk of being attacked by pirates. His parents owned a plantation in Jamaica. They were well off, but he got the bug when he was a privateer. He obviously liked it, he was good at it, and so when he grabbed the chance, he went out pirating on his own account. At Luke 4337 says, weren't pirates democratic and overthrew bad captains? Pirates were very democratic. At the time, we're speaking about the early 18th century, it was a very strained, constricted sort of lifestyle, ruled by the church, ruled by laws. Pirates were rebelling against that. They were rebelling against tyrannical merchant captains who could have them flogged or even killed without any recourse to the law. They could vote in a captain they liked and vote out one who didn't suit their needs, and that happened several times. If the pirates weren't happy, they'd call a meeting and they would decide if the captain should stay or go. Pirate captains like Charles Vane were deposed by their crew. He and his crew that supported him were shoved onto this other ship and told to fend for themselves, while the pirates elected a new captain, in this case Jack Rackham, and he sailed off to continue his piratical career somewhere else. At Honey Nut Berrios says, pirates never actually made people walk the plank. There's no real evidence that pirates ever did. It came largely from J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan. J.M. Barrie used the whole plot device of walking a plank to add dramatic impact to his story, because pirates wouldn't bother sticking a plank out and making people walk it, except in fiction. Normally, a pirate would just cut your throat and throw your body overboard, and there's plenty of examples of that happening. Pirates could be nasty. Some, like George Lowther, made a name for being almost psychopathically vicious, and they would often pick on the captain of a ship that they captured as a figure of authority, and they'd often torture him just to make his life a misery before killing him and throwing him overboard. At Ross3 said, so you're telling me Jack Sparrow wasn't a real pirate? Well, no, he was a character, beautifully played by Johnny Depp, his inspiration for it was largely Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones, because he just liked that crumpled but dynamic look. Johnny Depp just took that, embellished it, and ran with it, just like Robert Newton did all those years before with Treasure Island. He's actually basing his look not just on Keith Richards, but in real pirates. Look at the hair. That's straight from Edward Teach, from Blackbeard. He's got a captain's coat, the kind of fancy coat that a pirate captain would wear, albeit kind of shabby. This is the sort of thing they'd steal from a boat. The whole thing is kind of exaggerated, but underlying it, there's a sort of real pirate look in there. Another thing with Johnny Depp is he's always a bit drunk. Pirates did steal a lot of rum from ships. At Betha Cowboys makes a good point, and he says, how am I supposed to pay attention in class when gay pirates exist? There were gay pirates. Bartholomew Roberts, probably the most successful pirate in terms of the number of ships he captured, was definitely a gay pirate. His partner was one of the crew and was equally ferocious. In a very constricting society, being a pirate was a great place to be. You were part of that pirate crew, and they all looked after each other very well. At Fisherbeck PB asks a great question. What's the difference between a privateer and a pirate? In time of war, governments give privateers a letter of marque, basically a license to become a licensed pirate. For instance, during Queen Anne's War, anyone could go get letter of marque, and if they had financial backing, they could gather together a crew for a ship, buy a ship, and go off hunting. Anytime that ship was captured, it was taken back to port and legally sold. The government would get its cut, about 20%, and the rest was sheer profit, shared between any shareholders in the enterprise and then amongst the crew. The trouble is, when the war stopped, those licenses were terminated. A lot of pirates had spent a lot of time learning the skills. They didn't want to go back to the drudgery of being a regular merchant seaman. They decided to keep going. A pirate attacks any ship regardless of nationality. They're just there to hunt the seas. At about 1713, 1714, there was an immense upsurge of piracy, mainly in the Caribbean and the American seaboard, but also over in coasts of West Africa. The Golden Age of Piracy, a modern term for a deadly problem. At Markofix says, why is it trying to drink off rum while watching Pirates of the Caribbean? Rum and the Caribbean kind of go together. The main trading good of large parts of the Caribbean was sugar. Sugar was used to make rum. And now we associate rum with pirates, largely because they operated a lot of the time in the Caribbean, captured rum and drank it. At Charlotte Murray says, get out of here with your misogyny. There are plenty of female pirates in One Piece who were inspired by real life female pirates. There are not many examples of female pirates, but in the contemporary, very strict society of the 18th century, the whole idea that women would become pirates and go to sea, that was truly shocking and sensational, so people loved it. Anne Bonny and Mary Read were part of a pirate crew, one of Captain Calico Jack Rackham. They both dressed like men and fought and drank and did all the things other pirates did. Anne Bonny was recruited first. She was probably the lover of Jack Rackham, at least that's what the records suggest. And then Mary Read, who was a friend of hers, joined as well. They weren't just going along for the ride, they were full-on cutthroat pirates. And they, in the last battle before they were captured, were the only ones who were able to put up a real fight, mainly because the men had all been drinking. When Jack Rackham's ship was captured off the western end of Jamaica, they were taken to Port Royal as prisoners and thrown in the jail. It was a sensation that shocked the world that women would be pirates. Almost all the crew were taken away and hung, but Anne Bonny and Mary Read, they both pleaded that they were pregnant, and they managed to throw themselves in the leniency of the court, and they got away with it. At Yahaf Sal says, how does one get an access code to become a pirate? How do you become a pirate? You needed to be a sailor. Landlubbers were of no use. Pirates were merchant seamen. If they mutinied against a nasty tyrannical captain and took over a ship, that was one of the first access codes to becoming a pirate. The other one is once pirates were at sea, they captured a merchant ship. They'd often ask the crew, do you want to join us? That's a big step though, because once they do, they couldn't go home. They couldn't go back to their families. That was it. They were a pirate until they died. At WhaleFan69 asks, what did pirates do before sunscreen? We have accounts of them using tallow, the stuff they used to grease ropes. They often put that on their faces to block themselves from the sun. But what pirates tended to do is have a very big straw hat. At Faislal RB4 asks, has any pirate treasure been found? Buried treasure. That's a modern invention. That was a main plot in Treasure Island, written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Pirate treasure, while there probably is some out there, it's probably lost by accident, because anytime they captured a ship, often it didn't have treasure on board. They were capturing the regular merchant ships of the time, so they would have things like rum or sugar or clothing. The only occasion when treasure was buried that I know of is when Captain Kidd came back to New York from his pirating exploits in the Indian Ocean, and he wasn't sure how he'd be received, so he buried his treasure on the coast of Long Island, just outside New York, and then went into the city to see the governor. It didn't really work out for him. He was immediately arrested. He was interrogated and had to reveal where the treasure was. Here's one from Cora. What's an average pirate's life expectancy? Hollywood seems to give the idea that they can be old and grizzled. Life expectancy at the time, we're speaking about the early 18th century, for a seaman was fairly short. A lot of pirates were young, teenagers or in their 20s. You knew you were eventually going to be captured, hunted down, and executed. So the chances of being old and grizzled and retiring as a pirate, kind of slim. At T.S. Morehouse says, I wonder why pirates are associated with parrots and what started the trend. Pirates are exotic creatures. They're novelties in Europe. Any seaman in the Caribbean would pick up things like parrots and take them home and sell them as exotic pets. At Virgil of Limbo said, I wonder why they gave Blackbeard his name. He's not the only one with a black beard, or was he the only one at the time? Here's a picture of Blackbeard at the time. He was described with a great big beard. He had it tied up often with ribbons. He also had bits of burning slow match used to fire guns, basically burning cord stuck under his hat to make him look more ferocious. So he looked kind of satanic, and that's exactly what pirates wanted. At Bruminate asked, what did pirates wear? What we've kind of established nowadays as the pirate look was essentially not worn at the time at all. It was created by an American artist, Howard Pyle, in the late 19th century, who did a lot of illustrations for kids' books. Before he did these children's books, Howard Pyle studied Spanish guerrillas, and he had lots of sketches of them with headscarves and the whole look. And he said, right, that's a great look for pirates. Here's an example of what pirates actually dressed like. They wore the clothes of seamen at the time. They were, after all, sailors. So they'd have shirts, they'd have sun hats. Very popular is the tricorn, like this. I wish these came back into fashion. I love these things. But that's not that practical on a ship. What they'd often wear is something like a woolly hat. You see them wearing little bowler hats or hats like this. Sensible, comfortable clothes, even shorts. At Desert Taxol asks, what sort of weapons did pirates use? Of course, they wanted to capture a ship without having to fight on the decks. There's a risk they could be killed, the ship could be damaged that they're trying to capture, and all that plunder on board would be lost to them if it sank. When pirates captured ships, they often took the guns from it and kept them on board their own ship. So essentially, they had the best weaponry and all that they could lay their hands on. The main thing to stop a ship would be a cannon like this. They normally keep the heavy guns down in the hold where the ballast is, and then they bring them up when they need them. But you also have little swivel guns like this on the rails of the ship. They're kind of anti-personnel weapons, and you would blast out musket balls and bags of shot from these things that were designed to spray across the decks and kill people. When you got alongside, you needed things like these. These are grenados, essentially little metal balls filled with explosives, like a modern grenade. There's no pin to pull, you just have to light the fuse and throw it and hope for the best. You have swords, axes, pikes, boarding pikes, cutlasses, muskets, and even long muskets like this. So the whole range of weaponry was available to them. I'm Miss Bluey says, how the hell did pirates build such awesome ships? Why are criminals so creative? Pirates didn't build the ships, they stole them. Much better. Often, pirates would start small with a single-masted sloop or even a canoe. You would build up your crew. You would often trade ships for bigger ships. What they did, though, is they embellished them. Take Blackbeard. When he captured this French ship called La Concorde off Martinique, he took it to a deserted island. He converted it to make it a better pirate ship. And that meant cutting down the decks so it was one big platform so the pirates could attack from anywhere. He added more gun ports. He essentially blinged up the ship so it was the perfect fighting platform for piracy. S.L. Morrison 9, do you know that pirates helped free slaves in the 1700s? I don't remember seeing that in any history books. Well, yeah, they captured slave ships. The Caribbean was essentially an economy that demanded the use of slaves, but what the pirates liked was attacking them off the West African coast because they had trade goods and they often had things like gold dust on board. And when they did capture one with slaves on board, if they were seamen, they'd recruit them. Otherwise, they put them ashore. So it was kind of a reprieve for people who were captured. They managed to get a taste of freedom thanks to the pirates. Of course, being dumped on the shore wasn't the end of the story, because often in West Africa, the coastal communities were the ones who had actually gone out as slave hunters and sold you into slavery. So you'd probably have some other challenges to face once the pirates had set you free. Some pirate crews, like the ones of Bartholomew Roberts, had a lot of Africans on board, and a lot of them were former slaves who decided to join the pirates, and the pirates accepted them because they could fight. About a third of the crew could be Africans. At Edward G6 1972 059. What's the name given to the skull and crossbones pirate flag? The original pirate flags were known as the Jolly Roger, from the French Jolly Rouge. The red is a warning sign, but so too is the use of skull and crossbones. Hourglasses to show that your time's running out. Skeletons and skulls are signs of death. They often have ones with pirates drinking with the devil. It's all designed to intimidate, and you see a flag like that coming, it means this is the fate that's going to happen to you. We're going to kill you unless you surrender. At the Victor 2 says, did pirates have pirate bathrooms on their pirate ships, or did they just over the side when they were at sea? In any ship at the time, there wasn't really much in the way of bathrooms. The naval word for a toilet is the heads, and at the front end of the ship, that tended to be the place where the crew would use as their bathroom. So they did over the side. At Cora makes the very sensible question of, did pirates live in the water or did they have homes to go to? Pirates make the choice to be a pirate. You and your pirate crew are a floating community. Once you became a pirate, that was it. You cut ties from everything you knew from society, your family, your friends, everything, until either you get a government pardon and you can walk away scot-free, or else you're captured and usually hung, like Bartholomew Roberts, who was captured and killed. His crew were taken back and tried in a mass trial and executed. That was a signal as much as anything else to other merchant seamen not to become pirates, or else you will face the same grisly fate. At Jeff Gill says, why do so many pirates have to wear eye patches? It's a dangerous business being a sailor. Sometimes you get your eye poked out. Yes, you'd wear an eye patch if your eye was damaged or knocked out. Probably not like this one with the skull and crossbones on. That's a kind of modern bonus. There is an idea that eye patches are useful for saving an eye for use in the dark. It improves your night vision, but there's no real evidence that pirates did that. The most likely thing is somebody's had their eye poked out. That's all the questions for today. Thanks for watching. This has been Pirate Support.
I'm historian Mickey Brock. Let's answer your questions from the internet. This is Witchcraft Support. It's too silly. At Layla Likes Music. Can men be witches, or is it hashtag just for the girls? Yes, men can be witches. Anywhere between 75 and 80% of those accused of witchcraft were women. There were a few places where the majority of people accused of witchcraft were men. Russia, Estonia, Normandy, Iceland, but these were also places where the witch trials never boiled into a full-blown panic. A lot of the men who are accused of witchcraft are accused in moments where they are related to or in proximity to a woman who is accused of witchcraft. So their mother might have been accused, their sister, their aunt, their wife even. And that could bring them, in the minds of authorities, closer to the crime and could make them vulnerable to that allegation. There were also some men who ran afoul of traditional norms of masculinity. They might have used their power in a way that was deemed irrational. Men were supposed to be rational, the opposite of women who were irrational and emotional. These sorts of deviations from the norms of masculinity could make potentially someone more vulnerable. You may remember the case of Giles Corey. Giles Corey was made famous by Arthur Miller's play The Crucible, and he is the man in that story and in the actual history who was pressed to death after he was accused of witchcraft. That is to say, a slab of wood was laid on top of them, and then rock was placed, and rock was placed, and rock was placed until he was pressed to death into the earth. He had been accused of witchcraft after his wife, Martha Corey, had been accused. And the reason he was pressed to death like this is because he refused to enter a plea. And in English law, you had to enter a plea. Are you guilty or not guilty, right? This system lives on. But he wouldn't say anything, he held fast. And of course, very famously, and this may be apocryphal, we don't know for sure if he said this, but Arthur Miller said he did, Giles Corey's last words were defiantly, "More weight." Our next question is from Adam McIlveen. What better way is there to spend a Thursday morning than learning about methods of torture used on accused witches in Scotland? I too enjoy thinking about torture methods. We're talking about 90,000 people accused and about 50% of them executed. And torture was really key in order to get people convicted for witchcraft. And that's because when you think about witchcraft, it's a crime that's kind of unseen. It's secret, it's hidden, it's concealed. If you don't have eyewitnesses to the crime, then what you need is a confession. You need an individual to confess to meeting with the devil under the cover of night, using harmful magic to kill babies and harm crops and render men impotent. So the question might be, what sorts of torture methods did they use? If you're interested in Scotland, they really enjoyed the thumb screws, these little screws that tighten and tighten and tightened on your thumb. In some places, they were a little bit less gruesome, like the use of sleep deprivation, which was common in England in the 1640s. Other places more gruesome still, like the rack, a medieval torture device that was used into the early modern period that could either stretch or compress limbs. The strappato, which is used to tie arms behind one's back and hoist you up over a pulley, sometimes with weights attached to your legs, so that your shoulders become dislocated. So really horrific stuff. And of course, we know torture gives us terrible information. It's not good judicial practice. But it was useful for authorities who felt that witchcraft was such an exceptional crime. They would use torture in ways they typically wouldn't. People were allowed to flout the typical legal norms and practices. And what that meant is you could get people to confess to all sorts of fantastical things. Next question is from Ask Historians, great website on Reddit, and it is asked by Sir Drunken the Tall. Sir Drunken, 10 out of 10 name. I feel like you're a Monty Python character. How did the Salem witch trials become the face of the historical witch hunts when European witch trials took place much earlier and were more numerous? Number one, America. Right? The dominance, kind of the cultural imperialism of America has really brought the witch trials, Salem witch trials, to front of mind. And of course, Arthur Miller's play The Crucible, which was performed on both sides of the Atlantic, is going to be part of that. I think Salem, too, is kind of shocking. It's late. Right? It's in the early 1690s. It happens in this Puritan colony that's often held up as this great example of the American experiment. And I think because it's so late, people think surely this is a time period when they have stopped hunting witches by the end of the 17th century, right? The 17th century is the heyday of the scientific revolution. We're talking about, Galileo and Isaac Newton and all of these things. So people see Salem as sort of a shock to the system, whereas potentially a 16th century witch trial seems more understandable. But I also want to say that this idea that the witch hunts happened in the Middle Ages, they didn't. If you ever hear someone say witch hunting was a medieval phenomenon, it was not. The bulk of the witch hunts happened in the early modern period, that is to say the 16th and 17th century. Cora asks, were witches ever burned at the stake in the USA like they were in Britain? Actually, I'm going to go with no and no. They were hung in New England and in the colonies, and they were also hung in England. English common law treated witchcraft as a crime of sort of treason, an act against the state, an act against the church, and it wasn't treated as a heresy, so they weren't burned. They were just hung in England and the English colonies. In Scotland, they were strangled and then burned, and then in many places in continental Europe, they were straight up burned. So a nice range of execution methods we have there. Now we have a question from Phil Array. Why were the witch tests so deadly and dumb? Almost all the tests required the person to die, even if there was no proof that they were or not. So the witchcraft tests, these are variations on what people called in earlier periods the trial by ordeal. The idea that you could do a certain test, the most famous one that we tend to think of is the swim test, the dunking of witches, the throwing the women into water and seeing if they floated or not. People really thought divine providence was critical, it was crucial. So there was a lot of confidence that God would not let an innocent person die. And that belief was really strong. It underpinned the faith in these tests. Now let me say, actually the swim test, the throw her into a pond, you know, as they do in Monty Python.
There are ways of telling whether she is a witch.
That isn't actually used as often as we're led to think by its prominence in popular culture, but it did happen. And it is an example, again, of that belief that humans were not alone in the world, and there were a lot of other forces that governed the application of justice and the rooting out of evildoers. Another excellent question from Reddit's History Forum, asked by Six Horrigoth. How is it that there were witch trials happening in different parts of the world around the same time? It's the printing press. You have the advent of the printing press in the 15th century, or at least the use of it and development of it in Europe. And that leads to the printing of these demonological texts that are being spread around. So the printing press allows stories of, say, witches in Scandinavia to be printed and read about in London or in Boston. And that's going to help create this sort of consistency in the Western notion of the witch. At Mike Queener, do witches really cast spells, or are their abilities limited to potions and stuff? Well, people believed that witches had a wide range of powers. They believed witches certainly could use potions, double, double, toil and trouble, right? Shakespeare's famous line. Probably the most gruesome thing that people imagined witches to do is people imagined that some witches might grind up or use parts of humans, especially parts of unbaptized infants, to make them into a paste, to make them into a potion, and anoint themselves in order to fly. If you've seen The Witch from 2015, you'll remember the scenes of the witch in the woods grinding something on the stone block and then sort of flying out and turning younger. That was envisioned to be parts of a baby, but it draws on older stereotypes about blood libel, heretics doing these sorts of horrible practices to children, and by labeling accused witches as killers of babies and even as cannibals, using the pestle and mortar to grind up some bones of babies, whatever, is a very surefire, quick way to dehumanize them and to demonize them. At Scott Daly 26 asks, has anyone watched The Witch? What an absolute shite horror film that is. Scott, my man, no. The Witch is a brilliant film. I think you just may be conditioned to people jumping out of corners and going, "Meow, meow," and there's none of that in The Witch. Robert Eggers' The Witch, which came out in 2015, is, to my mind, and I'm just saying this, I'm just the expert, the best film about witchcraft ever made. It looks at a family in the 17th century in New England grappling with fears of witchcraft. And it is the perfect encapsulation, I think, of Puritan anxieties, of theology, of fears the Puritans had about whether or not they were elect, and of this sort of fever dream about witchcraft that so took hold of people's minds. When you watch the film The Witch, you get a real window into why the witch was so scary to people. It really helps us understand why people thought witches were deadly and a threat to their families, to their livelihoods, and to their communities. So I know Scott says it was shite. I don't think it was shite. I think it was great. 5 stars. How many stars are there? A lot of stars, all the stars. I have 2 scenes from The Witch that I really love. They also happen to be quite gruesome scenes. One is, of course, the scenes involving Black Phillip, who is the goat that belongs to the family. The goat is really sort of emblematic of many depictions that we have in popular culture and historically of the devil as this goat figure, which of course is again an inversion of the idea of the lamb, right? The Lamb of God, the black goat is an inversion of that. Of course, also a demonization of certain pagan rituals, ideas about Pan, whatnot. That's why the goat's often associated with Satan. But Black Phillip is a perfect devil. The other scene that I really love, there is a scene where a child in the film is sort of having this experience of bewitchment and is kind of having these almost possessed convulsions. And in that process spits up an apple. And there's your clue to the role of the Eve narrative. He's been in the woods with a witch, and he comes back possessed and chokes up an apple. And that's straight to that stereotype that we see in a lot of depictions of witches. Next question is from @Jasmine Ermani. Who came up with the idea that witches could fly on brooms, and why? This is a great question. The broom is one of those iconic images that we associate with the witch. Number one, the broom is a totally domestic object. And so much of what we think of when we think of witchcraft is associated with the domestic sphere, right? You have the cauldron, right? The mortar and pestle, these things that you would find in the home. And that's because when you think of the crimes that witches supposedly committed, many of them were about harm to the domestic sphere, children, food, crops, and so forth. Now, during the early modern period, people did wonder about whether witches could fly. Authorities really thought about this. How did it happen? How did it work? And the idea fundamentally was that with the aid of the devil, witches could fly to undisclosed locations, maybe a mountain under cover of darkness, maybe a forest far away on a hill. And there they could meet under cover of night and engage in the witch's Sabbath, which was envisioned, believed, fantasized to involve all sorts of demonic acts. Orgies, cannibalistic infanticide, singing and feasting, and things that were in some ways inversions of appropriate Christian practice. Another note about the broomstick is it was sort of envisioned to be a fairly phallic object. Now, looking at this, make your own judgment. If you believed that witches were engaging in sex with the devil, then having these sort of phallic objects could re-emphasize that aspect of witches being carnal and being in sort of lustful service of Satan. I love modern takes on some of this. I love how in Hocus Pocus, when you're looking for a domestic object that's like more or less phallic adjacent, you have one of the witches grabbing a vacuum. Now, they weren't grabbing vacuums in the 16th century, but in our modern retelling, they serve that same purpose as the broom. Next question is from @WickedWalnut. I didn't know walnuts could be wicked, but now I do. I guess anything can. Anyhow, is the Malleus Maleficarum worth reading at this late date? Well, for those of you who don't know, the Malleus Maleficarum is the Hammer of Witches is what it literally translates to, and it's a work that's published in the late 1480s by a very nasty piece of work, a Dominican inquisitor called Heinrich Kramer, who basically was pissed off that he wasn't being trusted to run these witch trials in Innsbruck, and writes this screed that's meant to be used as a guide to identifying and hunting witches. And should you read it, is it worth reading? Well, how much do you enjoy misogyny and demon sex? If you enjoy both of those things, then that is the book for you. But in all seriousness, it's a book that is really important for sort of promoting some of those misogynistic tropes that are part of the witch trials. Certainly one of the things that Heinrich Kramer in the Malleus Maleficarum was obsessed with was this idea of witches as being carnal, in witches as being lustful, in witches as having uncontrollable tongues that couldn't be trusted. He really thought mouthy women tended to be witches. So I can only imagine what he would have made of me and many of the women in my life. Sometimes my students ask me why the Malleus Maleficarum was so popular. Why was it translated so quickly into English? Why did it become so prevalent? And why today do we still think about it, right? If anybody knows a witchcraft book, that's what they know. And part of it is, I think, because the Malleus Maleficarum is at times quite illicit. It's quite pornographic. One of the most salacious, interesting folkloric stories in the Malleus Maleficarum is this story of this group of witches who were widely known, as he says, to be stealing men's members and taking them up to a tree and putting them in the branches and feeding them corn. It gets a bit weird. And a man came to the tree and said, "I've lost my member, I need my member." And the witches say, "Okay, you can choose yours from this tree, but do not take the biggest one, for that belongs to the village priest." I love that story because in some ways it combines folklore, but also with actual witch belief. People were really worried about witches causing impotency. There really was a case of witchcraft in the 17th century where a man supposedly lost his penis to a witch. And I tell this story to my students, and we actually read parts of the Malleus. I have to say, though, I teach my witch hunts class at 8 a.m., and a lot of them say that's too early for demon sex and penis trees, but you know. Next question is from @Sundered Seas. Who is going to tell these people that the Salem witch trials were the result of mass hysteria from false accusations and not actual witches like the European witch hunts? So I don't think we should call this a mass hysteria. I think there are moments where we can think about it as panic, where things really go off the rails, accusations get made willy-nilly, but it wasn't a panic. This was a group of people who truly and genuinely feared witches. The sort of authorities that they looked to, clerics and judges, and of course the Bible, provided fodder for this. It says in Scripture, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." It's scriptural. So the sources of authority suggested that witches had to be eradicated. And the worldview at the time, the belief system, meant that it was very rational to believe in witches. Think about it. Early modern life is hard. Right? We all live, by comparison, in homes with thousands of candles, and we have thousands of horses at our disposal if you have a car, and we never worry about what we're going to eat, and we have vaccines and all of those things. We don't have to work in the same way to find explanation for misfortune. And I think if you understand that, then you can't quite as easily dismiss the fears of witchcraft that were going on at the time period. Dr. Sandman 11 asks, why is witch hunting considered to be bad? They tried to eat some children in a gingerbread house that one time. Dr. Sandman, I love this question because it brings in one of the most prominent stereotypes that occurs not just actually in witch hunts, but in moral panics in general. And this is the fear of the specter of harm to children. The Hansel and Gretel story fundamentally is about these two innocent kids who just love candy, following the trail into a gingerbread house and then becoming a nice midnight snack, pop it in the oven, whatnot. What's the inversion of the good mother? Someone who harms children. Women are meant to give life to children, to nourish them. So the inversion of that, the inverse of that, the opposite of it, is this witch who harms them, who eats them even. And that's why you see harm to children in so many of these witchcraft cases. And that's not unusual to witch trials, right? Much of the stereotypes about Jewish communities early on are related to harm to children, to blood libel. You see it certainly in the communist scare, actually, this fear that communism could be spread to children. What about the children? You see it in the satanic panics of the 1980s, this fear of what's going on at pre-K and daycares and whatnot. So harm to children, I think, is one of those useful, movable fictions that people use as a way to articulate, to justify, and to demonize over the course of repeated moral panics that are still very much with us, I think. @WiseMuir40718. Why do witches always have such a nose in cartoon movies in Disney? Well, you see in some of these visual depictions of witches, including from the late 15th, 16th, and 17th centuries, of these sort of large appendages, large noses, things that mark them out from other members of the community. And of course, the large nose trope, which is actually more prominent in some later depictions than in the early modern period itself, comes from anti-Semitic stereotypes. There's very little new that's under the sun. So much about the witch trials is pulling from stereotypes from other moments of panic in European history. So if we watch this little clip about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, of that famous scene of the witch holding out the poisoned apple and offering it to Snow White.
This is no ordinary apple. It's a magic wishing apple. Now take a bite.
I think we see some really prominent stereotypes that you can find in a number of the witch trials. First of all, the apple. If you see a woman with an apple, your brain should immediately go to Eve. Here is someone offering temptation, offering something that they shouldn't have access to. And of course, you have the witch in this scene. She's kind of an Eve figure, right? She's evil, she's been tempted by the devil. And then you have Snow White, who is, of course, virginal, pure, a very Mary figure, right? We are always sort of skirting within this Madonna, whore, Mary, Eve complex and how people envision the roles of women. And it was very hard if you were a woman in any period to be a Mary, so people were more likely, especially authorities, to think of you like an Eve. You also have in this scene, this famous scene of the witch holding the apple to Snow White, her wearing a dark cloak. That is
The right heroes could make all the difference. We are Cloak and Dagger. We are hope and fear. Light doesn't dispel darkness. It helps me see the darkness and face it. They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong. We better test this out.
Contain such vast energy as the weather.
If I tried to contain it, I wouldn't last long. I chose it.
Yes, it is the same with me and life energy.
And then when you unleash the power, there's nothing like that in the world.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area. Glad to help.
You fight for the survival of worlds, not for personal glory.
Powering up.
Everything is good to
Oh, I need assistance. We better test this out. A foam of life. My time to shine. I am here. A foam of life.
Lights out.
Heal me at once.
My time to shine.
Everything is good.
Lights out.
My time to shine.
Us against the world.
My time to shine.
Lights out.
My time to shine.
Lights out. Back up under their nose.
Glad vehicle in its tracks. My time to shine.
Here they are now.
I am wounded. Help. Help. So better stop that vehicle. We better test this out.
Lights out. Get in here, y'all.
My turn to shine. Just embrace the light. Glad to help.
The moon haunts you.
Friends, gather around.
You gotta
I am ready to put on a show. They made it halfway. Stop them.
Poor mutant. Denizens of the deep. Conceal yourself.
Just keep going. You stop them in their tracks. We better test this out.
Lights out.
Only 60 seconds left.
Shadows. Moonlight left it out here.
My time to shine.
This is real firepower!
Just embrace the light. I am healed. All right, time down to 30 seconds.
Tandy needs help. Lights out.
Stay strong. Better stop that vehicle. There's still a chance to stop them. Seconds. The light always comes back. They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them. Better stop that vehicle. Get ready. Here come the bad guys.
Lights out. Welcome to the Dark Force dimension.
Stay on the chin up.
That took the edge off fence. Much better.
It's now or never. Stop them. Only 60 seconds left. Hold still. I'm trying to help.
Lights out. Welcome to the Dark Force dimension.
My time to shine. Chin up.
The moon haunts you.
I am ready to put on them another inch. Or else. Better stop that vehicle.
Real firepower!
Down to 30 seconds. Final 10 seconds. The current score is 0-3. Time to switch things up, including which side you're on. Better stop that vehicle!
I am the god of thunder and the mightiest avenger.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
was to become a hero.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Archer, I hope you don't plan to miss today.
Why would I plan to miss?
Oh, it's a little joke before battle. Never mind.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget, securing the mission area is your top priority.
The enemy is here. I am not myself. Lightning confinement. Battle fury burn. There will be no more revivals.
Well, you need their power.
I am Thor, Odinson, god of thunder.
Help get that vehicle to its destination. I'm not so sure. Double KO.
The lightning of Asgard returns.
Felt kind of weird to fight with a tree.
I usually like the underground scenes, but now I'm not so sure.
The enemy is here. What terrors have you called it, Namor? What battle can continue without Thor?
I am ready to put on a show. The grand finale. I usually like the underground scenes, but now I'm not so sure.
Behold the god of thunder! Cower before Asgard's lightning! First with a scratch.
Double KO.
Alas, it seems Namor has unleashed his pest. My power grows.
Voices in my head.
To battle again!
Get that vehicle moving again.
We get underground, we win this. Let's go.
What vile creatures Namor has summoned?
This is real firepower!
I feel like myself again.
Here come the bad guys.
To battle
Pretty sure I'm still the coolest spider hero in any reality. Systems restoring. This is gonna hurt. You're up, little one.
The universe can't afford an encore.
Only 60 seconds left. Ready for another go, Spider?
This is real firepower! Here's how you shoot!
This is gonna hurt.
We have to...
No, that doesn't count.
We got company.
The final 10 seconds.
Leave them to Khonshu.
We're outnumbered. Final score: 1, 2, 3. Well, you can't expect to win them all. You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
I am the god of thunder and the mightiest avenger. It was on Earth that I truly learned what it was to become
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Depends on who I'm talking to. Are you special or conscious?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As long as I am worthy, I will raise Mjolnir in defense of what is right.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
returns. The mighty ocean's king has won. Slow down. I am Thor, Odinson, god of thunder.
Get that vehicle moving again!
Star-Lord, ready for takeoff.
What unusual beasts Midgard has.
'Twas but a scratch. Crush the spiders from the wall. My vigor returns. Battle fury burns. Behold the god of
Fuck, man.
What battle can continue without Thor?
I still
Behold, the child!
Protect Spider Zero as she journeys toward the shrine of the Weaver.
Your powers are mine!
Halfway there! Keep going!
I am barely wounded. Battle fury burns.
more the merrier. My thanks. I am.
Usually I love spiders, but destroy this nest.
Get that vehicle moving again!
The shrine approaches. But are we too late?
Down to 30 seconds.
I am Groot.
Attack is about to fail. Finish them.
By the eye of Agamor!
No escape from hell. You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner. What lovely beasts. Now we got to fight against it.
I am Groot!
What else you got, Namor? Angry starfish?
You're halfway there. Keep going.
I am Groot!
It's spider time! Only 60 seconds left. Almost there. Don't turn back now. Down to 30 seconds. The current score is 1-2-0. Time to switch things up, including which side you're on.
I am Groot.
The right heroes could make all the difference. Round 2. They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong. Love your sword, but don't melt my ice.
It's not actual fire, it's
That's awesome. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I am Groot!
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks. ready to put on a show. Halfway. Stop them. Double kill. That's 3. He stopped them in their tracks. Only 60 seconds. There's still a chance to stop them. Down to 30 seconds. Final score 1-2-2. Well, you can't expect to win them all. You'll need a top-notch team to win this one. Securing the mission area is your top priority.
I am Groot.
Round 1, go! 30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Even the astral realms are torn apart by the time stream entanglement.
Who better to put them back together than you and me?
I like your optimism.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget, securing the mission area is your top priority.
I am Groot.
I'm hulking.
vehicle to its destination.
I am Groot! I am Groot!
Excellent forms, dear Mantis.
I am Groot!
You're halfway there. Keep going. Let's get Spider Zero.
Maximum pulse! I am Groot! I am Groot!
Enemy in front of us.
Get that vehicle moving again. Get that vehicle moving again.
I'm opening a portal.
Together, my friends! We must away!
Get that vehicle moving again.
Maximum pulse! Must put to stretch! My power grows!
I am ready to put on a show.
Fear not, spiders. We will protect you.
I know how to be center stage. Only 60 seconds left.
Never miss.
I am barely wounded.
Down to 30 seconds. Almost there. Don't turn back now.
Behold the god of thunder!
The final 10 seconds. Chin up.
Odinson, god of thunder!
I am ready to put on a show. You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner. Double KO. vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the
Fear
momentum.
not, Spider Zero. We will protect you.
All prey has been located.
I'm
Our enemies are here.
Only 60 seconds left.
Thor, sometimes I forget you were
That's it! Don't let anything stand in your way.
just but a scratch.
So close! This is your big chance!
Behold the God of Thunder!
Seconds!
I'm from
You'll have to keep fighting until you have a winner.
Fear not, Spider Zero. We will protect you.
The current score is 3-2-0. Time to switch things up, including which side you're on.
I am the God of Thunder and the mightiest Avenger.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
I'm here to finish the fight that my father began. I hope I make him proud.
Round 2.
What I do may seem dangerous, but I've never felt safer than when I'm with Spider.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Your idealism refreshes a battered old soul.
You can't be that old.
Astral projection makes me feel old.
You're up, little ones.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3,
Time for
2,
some fireworks.
1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
I get bored with dolphins more capable of saving the world. Enemy in front of us.
Mine's in place. Powering up. Mine's in place.
Moonlight, that's an off.
Destroyed that Ankh. I hope I'm not cursed now. Mine's in place. Some sort of ancient Ankh? Ready for another go, Spider?
Dr. Strange is gone.
Us against the world! Friends!
You're up, little one. Shields up. Spiders get the job done. Time for some fire. Spider time!
in its tracks.
I'm counting on you, friends. You know what to do, spiders?
Better stop that vehicle!
Systems restoring. You know what to do, spiders? Don't count us out yet.
I won't shy away from a fight, but I'd rather be in the lab.
There's still a chance to stop them!
Hurry up!
Perfect! Thanks!
That's better.
Against the world!
Seeing arms, destroying arms.
Every Ankh will be destroyed.
You stop them in their tracks!
I'm hulking out! Hurry up! Anyone say fireworks? Maximum pulse! Pulse cannons and arguments. Too sweet.
Another soul to
It pleases me to be helpful. They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
Oof, there's a bad position come back to life. Hurry